Hello everybody, welcome to Matt Makes Monsters. My name is Matt, and today we're going to be getting our minds flayed. We're going to be getting illithid. We're getting our thids illith. We're gonna be doing some mind flayers today. So put on your helmets and let's go. Man, that started so strong. All right, so we're going to do something a little weird today, and we're going to start with the cartoony version, and there's a very good reason for that, which I will get to in a sec. But I just wanted to address something first. One of my favorite pieces of Mind Flayer lore is that they believe themselves to be the dominant species, and every less intelligent creature to be chattel and slaves. So one of the coolest ways they have decided to go about taking over the universe is they are constantly trying to destroy the sun, which I find which is great. I love that they try to destroy the sun. Such a lofty goal. Man, these guys. So when you see his thought bubble in a second, that's where I was going with that. So the reason I'm doing the cartoony version first is that the Mind Flayer has suffered from the ghoul syndrome, where I went back and I looked at him and I was pretty sure that was not up to snuff. Yeah, so I'm doing the cartoony version first because I actually put a version of the cartoony version in the realistic version, and he'll pop up, and I thought it would be a spoiler to see him so early, even if it was just for a second. So I thought I'd just do this first. It just makes more sense. So this is kind of a spoiler for how he looks anyway. I didn't go with a high collar or the skulls or anything. I suppose I should read the description. So here we go on this guy. Let's see what the second edition Monsters Manual has to say.
The Illithid, or Mind Flayer, is an evil and feared creature of the Underdark. Its powers are formidable, and it feeds on the brains of any creature it encounters. Using arcane powers, it enslaves or destroys its foes, which include such powerful creatures as Drow and Kortoa. Mind Flayers stand about 6 feet tall and have hideous mauve skin, which glistens with slime. Their heads resemble an octopus with white eyes, no pupils are evident, and 4 tentacles around its mouth. A round, many-toothed orifice like that of a lamprey. The creature has 3 reddish fingers and a thumb on each hand.
So, there you go. It also describes them as having flowing robes, high stiff collars adorned with symbols of death and despair. But I wanted to kind of like not do that one. So I know. Okay, so here's the story. I was actually going to let the old Illithid go. So here's what the old Illithid looked like. It's not too bad. The Mind Flayers and Illithids, by the way, for those who don't know, they're just the same. If I say Illithid, I mean Mind Flayer, and vice versa. Mind Flayer's gotten quite a bump in popularity because of Stranger Things. That's they name all of the current season's villains after D&D monsters. So, and it works. The thing is a Mind Flayer, and so is this. Look at that. Paste in the head again. Didn't like the position. Remember, there are no shortcuts. There are many shortcuts. So, yeah. So my kids were sick last week, and I was starting to come down with something. So I basically stayed in all weekend and did this for a day and a half. And I am much more I'm happier with how he turned out compared to the last one. So the 4 tentacles thing, huh? Yeah, no, that didn't happen. How about an unspecified number between 4 and 10, between 6 and 10, 8? I don't know. I haven't counted them. I wanted it to be unclear how many he had. I just think that 4 tentacles just isn't enough. you know, I in my career, I've taken license on some of my orders before, and it's sometimes worked out great. Sometimes not so much. You can push something to unexpected ways, and it really works out. Maybe not even half the time that happens, but, you know, sometimes it happens. And you got to be careful, and you got to make sure that, you know, you're still doing what your art director or your client wants you to do. But, you know, if you play around a little, you might come out with something better. And I think as artists, you should strive to do that. Hey, look at that. So one interesting thing about this is I've covered the bottom with fog again instead of water. And we have a situation where I really, really wanted to draw feet because I knew that there was going to be an incredible amount of fog, and I didn't, in a post-ghoul world, I wanted to make sure that everyone knew that I could draw a foot. So doing this one later really influenced that. But I only drew 1 foot, and really only half a foot, which you'll see, I'm sure, in a second, if I can get over this zoomy thing. I think I messed up the zoom there, and I don't think you saw me draw the foot. But it's there. There it is. And it's 4 toes. It's actually 4 toes, but you can only see 2. Okay, so I only drew half a foot. Get off my case. I'm trying here, okay? I'm doing my best. Yeah, so I think sometimes, as long as you're respectful and people can trust, but I think as artists, it's a very important thing to try to push that to the limit and see if you can come up with something new or better than the initial pitch. And, you know, a lot of times clients don't want that, and that's fine. But I think you really need to try it on your own, as long as you're not wasting time. Sometimes, like, if you can get a client who trusts you, it's really nice. And you need to be able to trust yourself and figure things out. I think this guy's a vast improvement on the last one. He's got a little more of a dynamic pose, and I think a lot of times when you see Mind Flayer art, they're just kind of standing there looking menacing, you know, folding their hands together, maybe standing there all calm and cool. But I wanted to draw one of them that was in direct combat with somebody, a wizard or a fighter, basically just dodging out of the way while using its mind powers. And actually, you saw me earlier trying to smudge it up and trying to create the rings of combat mind blast stuff, because I think mind blast is their big thing. It's a psionic blast of energy that fries your brain. So I wanted to do that, but it was taking away from the picture. I found it was taking away from the details, so I just left it out. And one of my favorite psionic things in a movie, that one of the effects in a movie that I've seen is in Dark City when they're firing psionic beams at each other. I thought that was pretty great. And it's kind of like ripples the air around them. So, you know, he's not exactly, they're all done. They've been around since 1975, and they've pretty much been the same since. So I don't know. I think they're great. I love me a good Mind Flayer, and I feel like this guy turned out pretty well. Okay, so those are up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So go ahead and follow me on there if you're not doing that. And if you're not subscribed, I would really appreciate it. I can't believe we're on 6. Show number 6. Monster number 6. Can you believe it? That's madness. So I really appreciate everybody's support. I'm going to be getting started on the Universal Monsters very, very soon here in drawing mode. So they'll be ready to go in 4 weeks. So, but yeah, we're going. We're zooming through. I can't believe it. Next week, however, we're doing the Rust Monster. So join me then. And if you don't know what a Rust Monster is, It's a monster that turns metal things to rust, which you can imagine would be quite inconvenient for those wearing armor or swords. And for those of you that do know, I'm so sorry that we had to go through that just now. I'm so sorry. Okay, see you next week. Bye. See, I told you that.